So my role in Dimerix is Chief Medical Officer. By way of background, I started life as a pharmacist, ended up working in clinical research and realised I needed the medical degree to progress. And since that time, I've lived and worked internationally, working for both small and large biotechs, and along the way have directly led 5 successful drug approvals, and looking forward to making that number 6 with Dimerix. Yeah, there really is no such thing as a typical day, but a lot of my days look like getting up early to be talking to the US, often 6 or 7 a.m. Then Asia wakes up and we talk to Asia. And then at the end of the day, we're talking to Europe. So because we're running an international trial in 21 different countries, there's always something happening in a different part of the world. So it can be very tiring some days when we go from 6 a.m. into 9 p.m. say. The main objectives as Chief Medical Officer is to make sure what the company is doing is very patient-focused and is medically appropriate. So making sure that I'm representing the needs of the patients, the company, and also the investigators or the doctors who will be using our drug. So it's very, very broad-ranging. Certain regular activities are, adjudicating on whether a patient might be eligible, or whether a new treatment a patient's receiving disqualifies them from the trial, reviewing lab data, interpreting adverse events, and then various other activities related to regulatory strategy. I'm most excited about the fact we're developing treatments for a disease where there really are no approved treatments. So it's really working on the cutting edge, which is a very exciting place, but also at times a rather challenging place. But I think the proud moments seeing the commercial team successfully partner the product for the major territories of the US, Japan and Europe, and being part of a successful study team that's been able to navigate a very challenging clinical trial environment successfully, and developing a network of great relationships in the rare disease renal space. So when my colleague Alicia and I walk into conferences now, we're greeted like old friends. So that's very satisfying that we're well known and recognised in the community. Great question. It's because it's such a broad role, I guess some of the key components of my role are: one, being up to date with all things FSGS, including potential new treatments, new endpoints, so our involvement with Project Parasol, and just staying up to date in generally, so attending all the major renal conferences to talk to our advisors, key investigators, patient advocates. So there's a whole range, and then consolidating all that information to help drive the strategies and operational tactics of the company. Well, Dimerix is obviously one of Australia's leading biotechs. I think, assuming we get DMX 200 approved, it will be a milestone event, and I think that will allow further success for the company. I'm sure we'll look for other opportunities. I think it's just a good combination of skills and experience. We've got a mixture of older people, younger people, and I think uniquely is a unique culture of having fun and having a laugh as we deal with some quite serious issues. Look, I think that would be MPeople's moving on up. So that's the share price moving on up. It's high energy, constantly moving. So I think that's the appropriate theme song. A fact that a lot of people don't know is that at one point in my life I performed at Sydney Opera House. not quite as grand as it sounds, but the band I was in performed at the Opera House staff Christmas party, so we weren't on the main stage, that's for sure. In my next life, I think I'd like to do something completely different. Maybe, I don't know, I have fantasies about being a tradie, but then, with regular 7 to 3 p.m. hours and being able to see the concrete results of your labour. That could be one, or maybe in a more creative role. I'm passionate about getting outside and into the outdoors. I do outdoor fitness training 2 or 3 times a week. I like to cycle and kayak when I can, when it's not raining in Sydney, which has been a lot of this year. So, yes. As escapism, I love reading crime/thriller novels, and I particularly like the Australian authors, people like Candice Fox. There's a series on ABC called Troppo, she's a bit left of centre, and people like Jane Harper. So, love Australian crime. Oh, I think we'd probably be programming artificial intelligence, because increasingly I'm using it, and I know I'm barely skimming the surface. So, I'd really like to understand that better, because I think it has great potential, particularly in drug development. So, I've received 2 wonderful pieces of career advice. One is never accept a job title with associate or assistant in it, because you do all the work for half the price. But more seriously, the best advice was given to me by an old boss at Pfizer, who told me, David, if you want to progress in the industry, you should work directly in the US for a period of time. And I got the opportunity to work in the US, and that was, it was just a wonderful experience.